Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Escoffier Online. My name is Chef Caesar. Today I want to show you how to make a Mexican Christmas punch. As the name implies, this drink is made during the holidays, more like Christmas, New Year's Eve. And one of the things that the adults do, they also use alcohol in this. But I'm gonna make a normal one. But normally they add like say rum or tequila, and it's done along with the family members when the family gathers for the Christmas celebration with all different types of food dishes. But this is very typical of Mexican cuisine. So I'm going to start by kind of telling you guys what's in it. I got some fresh guavas over here. This is a very native fruit of Mexico. It smells very floral. It's got a beautiful aroma. I mean, if you have some like fresh guavas in your kitchen and when they're ripe, you will know. I mean, the whole kitchen smells really nice. And they have like a white texture, very creamy, and they're nice and sweet. They have a lot of peats too. The next, I got some sugarcane. You've probably seen this at the store. Maybe wonder what the heck you would do with this thing. So I'm gonna use this to put in a fruit punch. You can also find them already frozen, cut up in little sections. But I'm gonna show you how to make it from scratch. Peel it and cut it up. Then I got some. This looks like some crab apples. They're called tejocotes, which is a Hawthorn, a Mexican Hawthorn, the native to the mountains of Mexico. And this is like a must ingredient to go in the punch. And the texture inside is like a little creamy. It has little three pits inside, and it reminds me like a cherry. So it's nice and soft, creamy, a little sour, and this is what gives a lot of flavor. Then I got some tamarind pods over here. This is you probably seen this in the Mexican stores. You probably drank. Like they use them to make pop, soda, or like a refreshing drink. So we're going to be using this. I got some apples, some pears. I also got some raw brown sugar. This is, you find this little tiny cone. Sometimes you find like bigger cones, but this is like typical. Right now, like during the time of the year, they have this whole display at the stores where they have all the ingredients kind of put together for this particular drink. I got over here some cinnamon sticks, some cloves. I also got some raisins I'm going to be using, some prunes, some hibiscus flowers. This kind of little sour, so that gives a lot of color to. You probably had this in a like a iced tea drink or a hot tea, and it's very refreshing. It's got a little sour taste. So we're going to start by getting our water ready here. So we're going to get it going here, and I'm going to probably just fill my pot halfway because we're going to add a lot of fruit in here. You don't want to add too much water that you can't put fruit in there. Okay, and then if we need to add a little more water, we will. We're going to start by putting some of my brown sugar cones in there. I'm using 3 little ones. Okay, I'm also going to put some of my cinnamon sticks to kind of get it going here. I also got regular sugar, and you can adjust the sweetness. I mean, this is going to be nice, and when it's done, sweet and sour. I got one pot that it's start early, so I want to show you what it looks like. This is about 1.5 cups of sugar, and you can cut back. If you don't like it too sweet, you can kind of wait and then adjust the sugar then. Now I'm going to start by putting some of my hard fruits here, which are my hawthorns here. They're going to go in there. You don't have to cut them in half. And this, you can also find them frozen or in a syrup. But I like to use them fresh or frozen. Right now they're very in season, so you can find them fresh. I'm doing about a pound here. And since these are the hardest fruit, they're going to go in first. Okay. Now I'm going to peel my sugar cane here. Okay. This is pretty hard, so you want to be careful. If you are able to get them frozen, that's probably better. That way you don't have to go through this whole process. But this is like this little section. You have like sections, and this is very hard. Right here is like really hard. So you want to cut right at the end, at the side. Kind of go around. You always want to cut with this part of your knife. You don't want to remove your knife blade, so you can see that. Okay, kind of roll it and push down. And when you do this, you want to be very careful when you peel the sugar cane. You want to create a nice flat base so you can put them down like this and peel the tough skin here. Just be very careful that the thing's not rolling around. You want to hold it really nice. Okay. See this? You cut them in quarters. Put the flat side down like this so it's not rolling in you. You go into your pot there. If you guys have any questions along the way, please let me know. I mean, this is a very flavorful drink, and you can also, drink it cold. Many times you let it sit overnight, and kind of reheat it next day. It's actually better next morning when you allow the fruit to stay in the liquid overnight. All the flavors come together. And this is very hard to cut. It's got a lot of fibers in here. And what we want the flavor, the juice in there. Okay. And this looks a little brownish. See, this means that they're being cut for been a while since they cut them, so they're starting to kind of oxidize because the sugar's inside. I like to get the frozen ones because they're really nice and white. You're going to be able to see that they're really fresh. I mean, they cut them and they freeze them right away. So, but also it's nice to use them fresh like this. You can see. At this point, you normally want to allow this to simmer for about 10 minutes before you add the rest of the fruits in there. But since we're kind of short on time, I'm going to go ahead and start putting everything else in there. I'm also going to cut my guavas in half to release a lot of the flavor, as you can see. And the more you use of this guavas, the better, because this is what gives a beautiful floral flavor. They're really nice. And you can also find this frozen as well. Sometimes they're cheaper too. I'm doing about 10 or 12 pieces here for this small pot. Yes, we have a question here.
Does sugarcane taste like sugar right off the cane, or do you have to just dry it out?
Well, I mean, the sugarcane, the question was, does the sugarcane taste like sugar? Well, they go through the process. They have to squeeze all the juice out of here, and then they have to go through a heat treatment. But again, the liquid tastes like just really refreshing. I mean, you can buy for a bar, for example, like sugarcane syrup, and it's just natural sugarcane juice, and it's really sweet. It doesn't really taste like sugar. It's a little bit different, but it's really nice. They use it a lot for make drinks in bars, and not so much for cooking. So we're gonna put my guavas in there. Okay. I'm also gonna put some apples. If you guys want to put the apples with the skin, that's okay. I like to peel them a little bit here, but you don't have to. If you're using green apples, you can just put them out with the skin. Sometimes when you have red apples like this, the skin is gonna give some color when it cooks, and you don't want to end up with a punch which is too dark. If they're big like this, probably 2 apples would be enough. And you can use any type of apple you want. I mean, like Honey Crisp. Okay. Okay. As you can see, the process to put this together is really simple. Normally, they start making the punch before they do the cooking because you want to simmer this for about 2 hours to get really nice flavor infused there from all the fruits. But you don't want to overcook it because you want to have some texture in the fruit. A lot of people, you also can eat the fruit in here too if you want. Okay. Oh, it seems like maybe a little bit too much water. I should be a little careful. So, like I was telling you guys, you don't want to put too much water at the beginning. Because I have my pots very small here, as you can see. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna add all the fruit here. Now I'm gonna add some of my tamarind pods here. This is tamarind. You want to peel them. Okay. And be careful. You don't want to put too many of this because these are very sour. When you cook them or you soak them in water to like make a refreshing drink, all this is like the pulp is gonna get nice and soft and it's gonna break up. And you have this little like fibers here that kind of holds the pod together. Okay. We want to take all the skin out of there. I'm using about 2 of them. Inside here, it has some pits. Like that. It's got like a little membrane surrounding the pit, and it's when you soak them, all this comes off, and then this little skin kind of stays behind. You can discard that. I'm gonna add some of my pears here. You want to cut them to some large pieces because you don't want all the fruit to break up. You want to have some texture when it's done. And you're gonna see there's a lot of recipes out there. I mean, I got a lot of fruit here. Some recipes, if you, for example, add some pineapple, that you wanna add oranges because they're pretty sour. So you can, substitute the pineapple for oranges and leave some ingredients out as well. And you're gonna know that everybody claims, the Mexican families that they have the best recipes. So everybody, thinks the recipe is better than the other's families. So that's really how it is. I'm also going to add some cloves here. I got like 4 cloves. And be careful, you don't want to put too much because cloves are very strong, and you don't want to have like a very strong flavor of cloves. So about 4 pieces. I also got some hibiscus flowers here. Add a few. And these are very sour too. So you want to put like about 6 flowers or so for this small pot. I got some raisins here. You can use golden raisins or black raisins. And I got some dry prunes here. I'll add a few, 4 or 5 pieces of dry prunes. I like to peel the pineapple because the rind is pretty tough, so I always do that. But some people, they just wash it really good, and they just put the rind in it too because it gives a lot of flavor too. So you want to take the core out of here. I'm only using half a pineapple for this, but normally when you make it for a big family, you would make a big pot of this. But at home, if you guys want to try this, I mean, you can see how much fruit I got here. You don't need a lot. I have a lot of extra fruit that I won't be using. So my pineapple goes in there too. And once this comes to a boil, you want to turn it down and just simmer for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then you're done. So I got one more ingredient to put in there, some orange slices. Okay. As you can see, my pot's pretty full now. I'm using the rind and everything. As you can see, I got some more apples. I'm gonna put them in there. Why not? So at this point, now that we have all our fruit going in here, we're gonna just allow this to simmer. It'll come to a boil rather, and then you turn it down to simmer for a couple hours. So you wanna, really get all the flavor from the fruits. And many times, you don't want to drain the fruit right there right away. You can leave it, in the pot overnight. So, like I said, the more it stays in there, the more flavor you're gonna get in your punch. Do you guys have any questions at all? Okay, now I want to show you what it looks like when it's done. Like I made this batch this morning here. Okay, as you can see, it's got a nice brownish reddish color and a lot of flavor. You can see the fruit's still nice and whole, did not break up. So this is what you want. You can see my sugar cane sticks there, guavas, and some people like to, eat the fruit too. So you don't have to. Some people just, take the liquid and just use that. But again, you can also, if you want to make a little drink, add some rum and or tequila, whatever you have available. This is for the adults. For the kids, they kind of live like this, and this is how they serve. We have a question here.
So why do recipes tell you to bring to a boil and then turn back down to a simmer instead of just simmering?
Okay, the question was, why do the recipes tell you to bring it to a boil instead of simmering? Well, you want to kind of get a lot of flavor and start cooking the fruit, and then you want to cook it slow so the fruit doesn't break. That's the reason why. So now that we have our punch here, we usually use these little mugs. They're typically from Mexico, actually, made out of clay, and we serve this in a little mug like this, and then you can add your shot of tequila in there or some rum. But again, this is smells really nice in here. You can also scoop some fruit in here if you like. Okay. And that's how normally you would serve it. So again, if you guys like to try this, as you can see, it's very easy. And most of the fruit in there is really whole, especially this Hawthorn. This is very tough. They don't break up. They're nice and soft, but they don't break up. They hold the shape really good. And like I said, when you eat those, they're like really creamy texture and a little sour taste too. But you can also eat, the whole thing if you like. But again, thank you for being here with me this morning. I'm gonna let this go for the office staff here. But again, this is like pretty much ready to be served. We have another question here.
Do Mexican families usually do it with all the leftover fruit they have around?
Okay, the question was do the Mexican families do it with leftover fruit? No, actually they buy all the fresh fruits for this particular punch. It's not like whatever.
What do you do with all the leftover fruit?
Oh, good. This leftover fruit in here, you mean? Okay, this, some people eat it. Sometimes if you don't eat all the fruit, it just gets thrown away. Really what we're looking for is just the flavor and the punch and the liquid itself. So all this fruit that's not eaten, it gets thrown away. But most of the time, it's not. People would definitely eat this fruit because it's really good. It's fresh and it's still good to eat. So it's like a poached pears and all the fruits in here, the same thing. So you definitely want to eat it. You don't want to throw it away.
Do you ever strain the fruit out eventually, or just leave it in?
Okay, and normally, it's pretty much gone. The question was, do we strain the fruit eventually? If you want, you can. I've done this for like banquets where I strain the fruit and I just serve the liquid, cold too. So you can also do this as a cold drink, like over ice, but normally it's served hot. But cold is really good too. So if you want to do that, you want to strain the fruit out of there and then serve it. It's like a cold punch. Anybody else has a question? Well, again, thank you so much for being here this morning. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys get to make this because it's very tasty punch, and it's really unique. So thank you again. I'll see you in a couple weeks.